Hi everyone! Hi guys! Tracie's here with Bible Journaling Ministries. I'm so glad that you're here for Faith Inspirations. Let's see, are we live in our group? Are we live? Let me double check. If we're not, then I don't know what to say. Oh, we are live. Yay. Yay, technology's working for us, and it looks like we're doing okay with, looks like you guys can see me. I see Dee is here. Janelle, Brenda, good to see you. Arlene and Kathy. So glad you guys came. I know that you guys just got off of the Bible Journaling Ministries launch. So I appreciate that you joined me here a little bit early this month because I have an appointment. So we're here. We're going to talk about faith inspirations. We have a lot of fun today. And I have some coffee that we can not only drink, but also play with our Faith Inspirations printables this month with. So I think it'll be fun. So I am super excited. Let me see who is joining us here. We've got Tammy and Kelly as well. Great. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'll do is I'll share the printables for this month, and then we'll do some prayer, and then we will go ahead and do our challenge together. I think that will be fun. Oh, thanks, Arlene. Arlene said the sound is great, and that's very helpful. Thank you. Okay, let's go ahead and turn the camera so you can see my desk. And this is what I've got on my desk today. So I have our printable here. So we are in March, which is a mega kit this month. So super big. It's got all the things in it. We'll go through that in a minute. We have my printables. I have a stencil that I cut out. I've got my faith art journal. I have some watercolors, so if you want to join me, I grab my Kuretake watercolors, but you can use whatever you have. I've got some instant coffee that I'll just kind of show you how I use this in my art as well, which will be fun. I've got some scissors, a splatter brush, and a fan brush, so either one. If you don't have one of those, just grab a watercolor brush, works fine too. So you don't need these. I just grabbed them in case you have questions or you have them and you want to use them. And then I just have some watercolor brushes as well. I have, let's see, some glue in case I need it. And I've got some sponges as well. So let's go ahead and put our supplies aside and get started looking at our printables for this month. Oh, let's see. Yeah, Tammy says, woohoo, mega. Hi, Della. Hi, Shilin. Good to see you. Oh, you do have the same instant coffee. Girl, this is the cheapest one Walmart sells, so it's the one I had to have. And actually, very good price at Walmart. I think I only paid $1 and you get 7 of them. And these are actually good as well if you have any recipes that call for espresso and you don't have espresso, you can always use instant and just grind it up. It should be fine. So lots of good uses for coffee. I'm a decaf girl, so I don't usually drink the caffeinated, but I do have this in my art room. So let's see, what are you guys saying? Oh, you got it at the Dollar Tree. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Dollar Tree sells them too. About $1.25 at my store. All right. Okay, so let's get started and let me show you what we're talking about this month. So we are in March. Our focus verse this month is going to be Proverbs 17:17. It says, "A friend loves at all time, and a brother is born for adversity." We have a technique here. We'll be doing watercolor drips. So if you want to protect your work surface, that might be a good idea. I do have, this is my coffee mixture, and I do have this, which is a, you get them when you buy a case of canned food at Walmart. So a little container, cardboard container, that people use to put cans on at the grocery store. So if you buy a case, you often can just grab the whole thing and bring it to the front, and they'll just let you keep the little box. So I have these. I actually keep these in my craft room because I think they work really well for when I'm doing any inks and sprays. As you can clearly see, I've done that already. Awesome, Dee. That's great. Dee says she drinks decaf too. Yes. All right. So we have for our colors, we have Award Blue, Apricot, and Purple Pansy. If you want to use your acrylic paints, you're welcome to do that. You don't have to use watercolors. One thing you can do is with your acrylic paints, you can water them down, and that will help kind of get that watery flow. Don't use too much water. Just use a little bit just to kind of get it a little bit loose if you're going to use acrylic. Otherwise, hopefully you have some watercolor, but if you don't, again, we always encourage you to use what you have. So we have, if you are using Arteza watercolor, we're using the A503, the A107, and the A411. So I'll just be using kind of orange, blue, and purple, honestly, with my Kuretake. So I'll kind of match it as best I can. So our steps are, we're going to dye our page with coffee or tea or watercolor. So use what you have again. We're going to dry before dripping. We're going to then do some drips, which is our technique for today. We're going to add some splatters. We're going to add a focal image. We're going to add cogs with a stencil or a printable. We're going to add words, verse, or a quote, and then we're going to distress our edges. Then we have our bonus word fetty. Our bonus word fetty just has the Proverbs 17:17 on it. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. And then it has best friends forever, stick together, pray for each other, friends love through all kinds of weather, families stick together in all kinds of trouble. So these are just word fetties that you can use if you prefer with your art. Then we have a beautiful printout here with two girls. These are friends. And we have like clocks in the background to kind of represent time. And, when we think about our friend, being friends, we're going to love at all time. And so that's why we're kind of using cogs and time as well with our friends in our printable this month. So with our mega kits, you always get this one as well, and you get this one as a PNG as well. So when you download your file, you can resize this however you want. But if you just download the PDF, which is really what I do, you also get it in a bunch of different sizes, so you can choose which one you want to use, depending on the size of your art journal. My art journal is small, so I tend to use this page more than any of the other pages. And then we have our ephemera. So we've got this really beautiful clock here. This is actually probably the right way to go because the drips are going down this way, with a lot of different interesting things in the background. You can actually, if you want to, just cut this out and use that as kind of a base, and then add your focal image to that. If you don't have any watercolor and you just want to have fun with us, just use this little piece of ephemera and you'll be just fine. Then we have cogs as well that you can use for elements. Oh, thanks, Arlene. Arlene says it's called a cardboard flat. I had no idea. Thanks so much. Thank you, Kathy. Kathy says this is so beautiful. Thank you so much. Let's see what you guys are saying. Tammy says, my favorite kit that we've done so far, but that's a lot. She says she's in love with this kit. Thanks, Tammy. All right, I can't wait to see what you make with it. I'm trying to convince Tammy to go live with you guys. I think that would be so fun, don't you think? So let us know in the comments. Encourage her. Encourage her to get on in the live with you guys. Would love to see her get on with you guys and fellowship with you sometime this month or next month if that's okay. So let's encourage her in the comments. Say, Tammy, we want to see you go live. Okay. So we have our Simple Cog stencil here. Now you also get this as a PNG file as well that you can resize any way you want. Now I have cut mine out. This I just cut out on palette paper today, and this is what mine's a little bit bigger because I sized it differently. But this is what your stencil will look like if you cut it out with your machine. So it just has the cogs on it. If you want to keep like elements, like the crosses and stuff like that, you can just keep the elements that pop out. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not, but that's what your stencil will look like if you actually cut it out. Otherwise, you can actually use this as background paper if you want to. You can use it as collage paper, and you can just cut them out and have fun with them. So that one, this is a detailed cog stencil, and I do not know if that one was included. So If it was included, great. If it wasn't included, it's just a different stencil I was experimenting with, and it didn't actually work out for me. So hopefully I deleted it, but if you have it, great. Okay, then we have our Proverbs 17 collage paper that you can use in the background. I love to use this type of collage paper in the background instead of just random stamping that is script I don't know what it is. So I always like to know if I'm going to use any words on my background, I want to know what they are, and I most definitely want to make sure they glorify the Lord. So that's why we always include our verse in some collage paper. So you get that in the long version, the portrait size, and you also get that in your horizontal size as well. So horizontal and portrait size. Then we have our verse as well. Again, here we do a little bit more, so you don't have just one verse on here. So this one actually has Proverbs 17, 1 through 17 in the King James Version, and you can use this as collage paper, background paper, whatever you want. You can use that as well in our library. So we also have a library. If you guys haven't had a chance to check that out, your membership, if you are a member, does include our library. So if you would like me to show that real briefly, I'm happy to. Otherwise, just go to Faith Inspirations, go to hit library, and that's where you can download that. We actually have quite a few downloads now. So we have Silhouette Girls for you. We have some collage paper, and now we have these cogs. So these cogs are they come in a PDF format as well, but you also get each one of these as a PNG file if you want to somehow make some digital paper, digital stuff, or just have fun, with different sizes of cogs. So the wonderful thing about our library is not only do you get the PDFs, but you also get the PNGs, and those allow you to just be a little more flexible. You can put them in cards, you can create all kinds of things with them. There's all, the possibilities are endless. So I hope that you guys are enjoying that with Faith Inspirations, because we do have the rights to give you the PNGs for these ones. So I actually have mine cut out on sticker paper. I just peeled the background off. When I cut these out, just FYI, I actually, with Cricut, I had to actually go in and tell Cricut to cut out the middle. Otherwise, it's just going to cut out the outline. So if you're a Cricut user in Design Space, you just have to take, whenever you remove the background to do your print and cut, you just have to come in with your little crosshairs and just click some of these white spots that you want it to cut through. So that way you don't get the white spots, you just get the cog. And if I could pull this off for you, you'll be able to see it. Maybe a little one, but you can see that now I don't have any of the white on there. So this comes out just like a normal cog would. With Silhouette, if you just highlight the whole thing, you can just tell it to create a detailed cut for you. It's a little bit more tedious with Cricut than it is with Silhouette. But FYI, that's what I did for this one. Okay, so that is our printables for the month. Let's see what you guys are saying. Oh, good. You guys are encouraging Tammy to go live. I'm seeing a lot of comments, so thank you so much for that. Oh, yes. Arlene says she loves the feet. Yes. Yeah, we did the feet last month. So, yeah, go back and check that out if you guys didn't get a chance to use the little feet ones that we did. They were so cute. Okay, Tammy, I'm seeing a lot of people in here. Everyone's saying. And Tammy's like super embarrassed now, but you need to do it, Tammy. Everyone's waiting on you. So let's thank you guys so much for encouraging Tammy to go live. I love our ministry, and I love our community. You guys are our ministry. You are our community and our ministry, and you guys always encourage. And when you do that encouragement, you help others to see what's possible in their lives. And that just, when someone doesn't know, like, can they lead? Can they do anything that helps spread the gospel? And you guys are so encouraging to that person, it just continues to spread the gospel. Like, you have no idea. You probably don't really understand your impact. Just, as you are a member of our community, your impact on each other, as well as your impact on the servant leaders of our ministry, is I can't tell you like how much it means to, the growth of the ministry, the servant leaders that were able to continue to encourage to take steps out in faith where normally they wouldn't have. So thank you guys so much for all of the encouragement. Thank you so much for continuing to share God's beautiful word with everyone. This is amazing, and it's such a blessing to be here with you. So thank you so much for that. So as we get into today, I want to go ahead and get started with prayer, and then we're going to hop right into our faith art journaling time together. So I'm going to go ahead and open us up in prayer. Let me take a drink of water first, though. Not water. I'll drink my coffee. Okay. It's a big coffee day for me. All right. Let us open up our art journaling time in prayer. Father God, thank you so much for this opportunity to be with you. Lord, I pray that our words would be encouraging. Our words would encourage people to open up their Bibles and explore and learn more about you, and to encourage one another as each of the days go on. Lord, we love you and we praise your name, and we come before you and worship as we worship with our faith art to your glory, Lord. We pray that this just brings you all love and glory, and you know our hearts. And I pray that as we go out through this month, that you would continue to remind us how much we are loved by our wonderful Father. And I pray this in Jesus Christ's name. Amen. Okay. Well, let's get started. All right. So the first thing I want to show you guys is how to create coffee. How to create coffee watercolor. I don't know. Coffee. What do you call it? Coffee mixture. So basically what you need to do is you get a little cup, and you put like about I would probably say 2 tablespoons would be a great start. And you heat it up. And then you can take one of these packets, one of these instant coffee packets, and then you can just dissolve it in your water. Now, if you don't want to go buy instant coffee, you don't have to. You can use your extra coffee grounds that you might have from making coffee. And you just put a little bit of water over them, squeeze out the coffee, whatever's left over, and it will work just fine. So you don't actually have to buy anything. You can just use the coffee that you already have. I just use the instant coffee because it's easy, and mostly because it's easy. I'm not going to lie. I like easy. And then you just dissolve it. And you can take a spoon or a paintbrush and just kind of swirl it around. So, and that just kind of creates this is a very nice, rich coffee mixture that I've made here. Now, obviously you could drink it if you wanted to, but I wouldn't. It's a little bit too strong for me. Hi, Carrie. Good to see ya. All right. I'm going to make sure I'm not missing any of your questions or anything that you have. I love this. Arlene says, you can cause your non-crafting friends a bit of concern by telling them you're drinking your craft supplies. Yes, you can. Okay. So before we get started, I do want to read our verse, and I'm just going to read. I've already read our verse multiple times, but, I think you can read a verse more than once. And I've already read it in the WEB version. I've read it in the King James version, and now I'm going to read it in the NIV version. Now, this is my NIV Zondervan Study Bible. And we're in Proverbs 17:17. And at the bottom it says, a friend loves at all time, and a brother is born for time of adversity. So I love that. And I really think of this verse a lot when I think of my busy schedule. So how do we love at all times when we have such a busy schedule, right? And I'll give you a little story as we kind of get through this. But the first thing I'm going to do, I want to kind of make sure that we're moving along in this and I'm not doing just storytelling today. And actually, I want to do something a little bit different. So our first step here, let's go through our steps. Our first step is to dye your page with coffee, tea, or watercolor. So what I'd like to do for this, just kind of as a demonstration, is get my page a little bit wet with my coffee. So I'm just going to come in here with my watercolor brush and just grab my coffee. And then I'm just going to kind of put it on the page. And this makes a beautiful, it makes a really beautiful kind of antique looking background. Because I can show you, actually I have one done already. So here is mine. Look how neat that looks, right? So that's what we're doing. So if you do yours, I would encourage you, if you're going to make yours out of coffee, then make sure that you start off with a little bit of water first, a little bit of hot water first, and then see how you like it. I love what I have. This one here is probably about 3 tablespoons of water, and it smells so good when you're using it. So I would encourage you to use less water first, and that way you can always add more water if you think it's too thick. Now another thing you can do is you can sprinkle some of your coffee grounds on there, and sometimes that kind of creates an interesting effect too. So we're gonna just kind of let this sit here for a minute and soak up some of that instant ground coffee in there. So that wasn't part of the challenge, but I wanted to share with you that is an option if you do have coffee and you want to experiment with the crystals. If you just sprinkle them on there, sometimes they create kind of a neat splattery background looking effect. So let's let it sit here for a minute as we continue to talk about our verse for today. Actually, what we'll do is I'll let this sit, I'll come back to it, and then I will proceed with this one. That way I'm not going to keep you guys too long. Okay, so this one's already dry and it doesn't have any of the sprinkles, but we'll use that because I don't want you guys to have to stay long because my paint's drying or anything like that. Okay, so here is my coffee paper and it's already dry. Oh, yes. So Diana says she doesn't like the smell of coffee, so she'll have something else. Yeah, so you can use, Diana, you can use if you have distressed ink, you can use that. So I used distress ink for this background, and that's just walnut stain distress ink spray that I use there. But if you have watercolors, you can use brown in your watercolor, or you can mix all your colors together and create kind of a muddy look to it, and that will also be a nice brown for you as well. So many options for you, Diane, especially if you don't like the smell of coffee. I do love the smell of coffee. It's one of my favorites. Okay, so we have dyed our page with coffee to your watercolor. So let me go ahead and mark that off since we've already done that. Where's my pen? See. Okay. Then it says dry before dripping 2 colors of watercolor. So what colors of watercolor should we use? We have blue, orange, and purple to use. Let's do, I'm thinking blue for sure. And let's just run with it. Okay. So now I'm going to come in here. I'm going to grab my blue. I have my colors here. I have a key for my watercolor so I can see what color it is. So I want to match the blue as best I can. So it looks like my number 62 in the Kuretake watercolor set would probably match the award blue. So I just need to come find my 62. And it's right here. I'm just going to wet it for a little bit and just get it to kind of activate a little bit because it's super dry. But I'm using a thick watercolor brush because the example says to drip watercolor. So I'm going to drip it. So I need it to be loaded really well. So I may have to add more water, but we'll see. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to start with, whoop, I think I need more water. So I'm going to start at the top, and you don't have to start at the top. But the way I like to do drips is I like to add, like, make sure my watercolor brush is completely saturated with water and with color. And then I just kind of press it on the page until it just is going to load the watercolor on the page, and then it will start to drip down. And if it doesn't drip down, then we can add more water. So just grab my water, and you can use spray bottle. If you have a spray bottle, that would work as well. But I'm just dripping the watercolor down the page. Ooh, that's pretty. So I'm going to come and add more watercolor. More and more. And you don't have to go all the way across the page. I'm certainly not going to do that. And then just add a little bit of water to kind of get that watercolor to start dripping down the page. So it just needs a little more water. Come on, come on. You should see me when I'm in my craft room. So I'm going to add, actually I am in my craft room, so you can see me now. This is what I do. Okay, so I'm going to go about right to there. And I'm just going to add, I just keep taking my brush and just tapping it, adding more water until I start to get some drips that I like in there. Okay, look at that. That's pretty. Now, we can do more than blue, so but we don't want to do orange because that'll create a muddy mess. So I'm not going to do orange. But that looks pretty good. All right, so I'm going to grab my purple. Well, that's still better have a napkin. Okay, now I'm going to grab my purple. So what would be a good purple? So purple here, purple pansy would be my 193. So I'm going to grab my 193. And I'm going to go ahead. Oh, thank you, Tammy. Tammy did say that page was included. Let's see. Tammy was talking to Della. So it is included. Okay, good. Well, it's just an extra for you guys then. I know, because when I was doing the design, so I think what you guys are saying is, so this one was included, and then I think you got an extra page this month. Let me grab it. Oh, I think you guys are saying that this page also was included. And it is. So yay. You have an extra one. I was, whenever I do design, sometimes I do many iterations. And sometimes I go, well, I'm just going to give it to you. And sometimes I'm like, no, it's awful. So, and if you guys like that one and you cut that one out, what does that look like when you cut that one out? I think that one does not do well. No, I didn't cut it out. Or at least I don't see I have it cut out anywhere. Yeah, but it actually doesn't do quite well with the cutouts. So, anyways, 139. Here we go. Number 139. But it is a pretty collage piece if you want to use it for collage. I have never been really in the business of creating stencils, but I do work on getting better at things, that's for sure. Kind of want to create kind of a little, like a multi-drip if I can. I don't think it's working. That's okay. I'm going to add another drip over here. These are so fun to do, by the way. So I hope you're having fun. If you're doing this with me, I hope that you're having fun, because it is a lot of fun. Faith art is so much fun. It's a wonderful way to just spend time thinking and pondering God's word. And even with a friend, like if you guys have Bible study groups, there, get those drips down there. That's really beautiful. I'm not sure that is working totally for me yet, so I'm going to come in with a little more purple over here and really get that to kind of drip something more down there. That is kind of cool, although it looks like there's more lines than drips. Yeah, because it just kind of flies down the page, doesn't it? but it is pretty. I'm good with it. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it kind of sit here for a minute and let it dry. But I like it. You can get it to go different directions if you just turn the page. So hopefully that's not bothering you guys too much. All right, that looks good. I'm happy with that. So we're going to keep that for number 2. Dry before dripping 2 coats of watercolor. 2 colors of watercolor. Okay. Okay, so then it wants me to dry that. And I kind of would like to dry it, but I don't want to kill you guys with my dryer tool. So I'm going to put you on mute for just a minute. All right, I'm back. In the interest of time, I just kind of wiped it down with a napkin as well, but you don't have to do that. I just don't want to keep you guys here waiting for paint to dry. That's the worst thing to wait on. So there we go. The next thing it wants us to do is to add some splatters. Okay, well, I'm going to add splatters, but I think I will use the yellow or the orange for the splatters. So I will use, that'll be fun, something different. It looks like, let's see, looks like my number 33 is close enough, so I'll probably use number 33 in Kuretake to match those colors. And I'm going to do my splattering in the box. Oh, look at this. Look at this, guys. Look how neat that is. Isn't that neat? The coffee grounds are dissolving on that page. So there you go. Now you can kind of see different techniques with coffee grounds. Okay, I'm going to put that aside. And then I'm going to place my page here. And then I'm going to grab my orange. We're going to do orange. And let me activate my orange by adding some water in there. Ugh, that's not good. That was not good because that water was dirty. That's okay. Let's do this. A little bit of water. What do we think? Come on. There we go. A little bit of water. All right, so now we can do some splattering. I think I will use the fan brush for splattering, but you can use a regular watercolor brush. You can use a splatter brush from, I think Tim Holtz makes them. Ooh. Ooh. That's cool. Well, I like that, but maybe we should try and see what it looks like with like a watercolor. Let's see if we can get some like fat ones. Some fat watercolor splashes. Let me add some more water. Oh, good. Dee says she has some ton of ground. She's going to try to do that technique later. Well, I hope that you guys learned anything. If you guys are enjoying this, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Don't you like how I say like in such a happy way? Don't forget to give us a thumbs up. You guys are like, I already did that, Tracie. So my splatters here were not as thick as I liked them to be. They're a little bit thicker, but not as thick as I would like them to be. So let's try the splatter brush as well. And I'm just going to grab and load up the brush with the watercolor. And then I'm just going to, whoa, yeah, that was cool. Whoa. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Loving the splatter brush. Maybe that's why it gets its name, because it's so awesome at splattering. Okay, so there we go. And we're going to let that dry. So much drying with this today. Okay, dry before adding splatters. And then I added the splatters. And I'm going to add a focal image. Then I'm going to add some cogs with a stencil, or I can use the printable. I can add words, verse, or quote, and then I can distress the edges. Okay, so while that's drying, I'm going to pick out my, let's see, what is going to be my focal image? I think I'll use the girls, because I love to use the girls. And do I want to use this? How cool would that be? Let's just wait and see. I don't know. But I'll cut this out while we're talking. Yeah, this one. So what I was saying is a friend lives at all times, right? Even when we're super busy. And but we can think of ways that we can still love at all times and still be a good servant or a good just a good friend. I always think of serving my friends too. I love to serve my friends. And one of the way I do that is by trading them if I can, if they let me, which sometimes they won't let me do that. But I love to do that. You can go and, if we're busy, like say yesterday, I was super busy yesterday. I had a CT scan on my head. It's all good. It just is a growth in one of my teeth actually. But it's not cancerous, so that's great. And I was near a good friend of mine, and she has just lost her husband, and she's just going through just a tremendous sadness in her life. And obviously I don't know like what that feels like, but I can sit with her. So I just on my way home, I brought her a meal, and it was she said to me, I didn't have to do that. And I said, I know I don't have to do anything, but I want to, and I want to come sit with you today. So I just sat with her yesterday and let her talk. And, I always preface, and she knows this, I say, honey, I don't know what it's like to lose your spouse, because she had been married to him as long as when she was 20s when she got married to him, and I was married to my husband in my 20s too, and I've known him since high school, and she's known her husband since high school, so she's never known anybody else but him, and he's her best friend, and it's just tremendously sad. And so I stopped by, and she said to me, some of my family members don't want to hear me talk about him because they didn't like him. But it's so nice to be able to have someone just to talk to. And so I just sat there and listened for a couple hours, and then I went home. So what is that? Why am I telling you this? Because I feel like sometimes in our busy life, we think that it's going to take a lot to be a friend that loves at all times, right? And this instant, I was already near her house anyways. I literally texted her and said, I'm on my way. And she was like, are you talking to someone else? And I'm like, no. I'm just showing up. I'm not going to give her an excuse to say no. And then I just show up. Usually with a meal or flowers in hand, because, she's not really wanting to make any food right now. She's very beautiful, beautiful woman, but she's sad, obviously. I haven't decided if I'm using this. So my point is, we don't have to make a big deal out of loving our friends. We just need to, remember them and consider them. And sometimes that's just a text, or sometimes it's a phone call, or sometimes it's stopping by with food unannounced. And sometimes it's just sit and listen. Like, you don't have to make a big deal out of it. Sometimes it's buying a meal. Sometimes there's a lot of different things we can do to show our friends that we love them. And a lot of that, honestly, when my friends will sometimes text me and they'll just say, I'm thinking of you and I love you. Gosh, that's amazing. Thank you so much. I love you too. You just made my day. That is our conversation. It's not a big deal. It takes a minute maybe to just tell your friend you're thinking of them. Another way we can love our friends is by inviting them to Bible study. My friends, we have an online Bible study we do together through the YouVersion app. And, I'm try to get them to get on there with me and we'll do a Bible study there together. And it's a simple, easy way to engage with them. So you can do a lot for somebody in your busy time, in your busy life. And it doesn't take, you don't have to move a huge mountain. You just have to consider them. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think I should use this? Tell me yes or no. Yes on using this, or leave it out. Yes on this, or no. Let me know in the comments. Tell me. What are you guys saying? Yes, use it. Okay, Kelly says use it. Arlene says use it. Okay, I'll use it. Wow. Dee, that's heartbreaking. Dee's lost 2 husbands in her life. That's devastating, Dee. And Dee says the only way we really get through anything is talking about it. So listening is so very helpful. Thank you for saying that, because when I was talking to her and I told her, I said, honey, I don't know what to say to you. And of course we're both crying because, I knew him, because I knew her. And I knew, and I knew how much she loved him and still loved him. And she said, Tracie, just listen, because nobody will let me say what I want to say. And I said, okay, well, just say what you want to say. I have no judgment. Just say it. And then she was just, telling me how much he was a wonderful person. And, and I just listened. That's all I did. It didn't take anything. Okay, so I'm going to put this here. I think I just want to use a glue stick to put it down. So let me just grab a glue stick. I know I have them. Yeah, you're right. Tammy's on. I'm catching up to some of the conversation you guys are having online as I'm talking about our topic for today, which is a friend loving always. Tammy says we're not perfect. Absolutely. You guys already know this. If you don't know it, if you're new, welcome to our community. I am a sinner. I'm not proud of it. I work very hard not to sin. I'm not proud of it. But I am saved. And I ask for forgiveness, and I try not to make the same mistakes and the same sins. Sometimes I do, sometimes I'm not doing the right thing. I do my best to live a life that would honor God. I do my best. I'm not perfect. So our ministry at Bible Journaling Ministries is not perfect. And if you need perfection, I encourage you to look towards Jesus Christ alone. There's nobody on this earth that's perfect, and he is the only one that's perfect. So if you want perfections, you look there. But if you want love and grace and life with someone who cares about your relationship with God, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. And if you like fun, stay here. If you like giggles, stay here. Okay. Thank you, Tammy. Let's see. Dee says, I do 2 pages. I'll use it on the other page. Okay, great. Oh, Brenda, that was a good idea. She says, trim or tear so you don't lose too much of your background. Oh, I'm too late, Brenda. I didn't see it. That's okay. I think this still looks good, right? But besides, we still have more to do. So we have all kinds of goodies to still do here. This is so fun. I think I'm going to wait on my focal image just a minute. Okay, so I'm going to set it aside because I'm not ready for number 4. So if you didn't know, you can do your steps out of order if you want to. So we're gonna wait. So the next thing is to add cogs with a stencil or use a printable. Okay, so I'm gonna use the stencil that I created, but a little bit of it. I don't think I want to use a lot of it. And I'm still gonna use watercolors, which isn't my preference, but I want to do it because I want you guys to feel and know that you can use whatever you have. My preference in stenciling is to use ink. That's my favorite. So a distress ink, if you have it, great. An archive stamping ink would work well. Spray inks work great. My preference is to use ink. I'm not going to, because again, I want you guys to know to use whatever you have. And so since we're just working on watercolors, I'm going to use what I have. So I'm going to use black because in our Faith Inspirations, we can always use black and white. We don't consider those colors. So you can use them for anything. So I'm going to use black, and I think my black is number 20. So I'm just going to grab my little makeup sponge, and I'm going to get a real thick watercolor on there. I'm going to make it thick, okay? And then I'm going to come in and just get some of this stencil by pouncing my watercolor down. Look at that. Isn't that cool? You guys can do this with watercolor. Ooh, I want to do this. I want to do the Proverbs 17:17 on this too. Okay, and if it starts to get a little bit dry, just get some more watercolor. And you want to go straight up and down. Make sure that you hold your stencil down. Sorry that my hand's covering it, guys, but I'm trying to hold my stencil down so it doesn't move. Look, doesn't that look great? It looks great like ink. But the key is not to use a lot of water. So just a tiny, tiny bit of water, not a lot. So if you're thinking of drips, maybe just like a little bit, just to kind of wet it, but not a lot. Whoa. I gotta clean that up, you guys. It's so hard to, I keep resurfacing this desk, but I gotta stop and clean it sometimes. Okay, so there's that one. And I think I wanna do maybe a smaller one right over here. So I'm just gonna come over here and pounce that down. That looks pretty good. And I'll do one over here on the side. Again, I'm losing color, so let me add more water. But you don't want to add a lot because then otherwise it gets too runny. You want it to be kind of really, really thick. Let's see. Yeah, sorry, Kelly. Kelly said to cut it out, but I missed it. Sorry, Kelly. What do you think? I think I need more. You know what I think? I think I need one kind of poking out from here. That one will be a challenge. So let's do a challenge together, shall we? So I'm going to just block off the edge of this. Oy. My watercolor is not necessarily dry. I'm going to block off the edge here. I'm going to bring my stencil over. I'm going to hold it down, and I'm going to press up and down. Oop, I need more. Again, be slow with this because you might accidentally pull up your page and then, or your stencil, and then you get kind of a mess like that, which is it's okay. It's not my favorite. But these ones look great. This one, I think I had too much water on it, but that's okay. All right. So that looks good. Now I'm happy with that. So I have done adding cogs with the stencil or using the printable. Again, if you don't have the stencil or if you don't want to cut it out, you can use the printables that are included in your kit. So just cut it out. You know, you can use them individually as well. There's that. Okay, now I can add my focal image, which I think I want to do. Boy, I almost kind of would love to kind of go off the page a little bit. Maybe up here. I'm going to go with here. No. I'm going to go with here. I'm going to go with here and have her kind of hanging off the edge a little bit. Which I do with my art a lot, just so you know. I don't constrain myself to a page. I'll keep going and it'll just go off the page and I don't care. But if you like order, then you can keep yours on the page. I just have fun and I'm really just enjoying our time today. Oh, Arlene, I'm so sorry. Arlene said the same thing about what my girlfriend Lynn is going through. She said, yeah, sometimes our friends don't want to hear things, and it's just so tough. Like, who do you talk to? So hopefully you have a friend that you can talk to, you know? I'm just going to hang it off. I like it. But you don't have to. Yeah, I like it. And by the way, I usually do mine in my art journal. And I have it. So this will go in my art journal. I think I'm just going to, trim it down and paste it right here. And it'll just kind of hang out like that. Oh, look how cool that looks. Kind of cool. It says, by their fruit you will know them, and she's kind of peeking out right by that verse. It's so neat to see how things just kind of work. Okay, so I've added cogs, I've added my focal image, and now I'm going to add words, verse, or a quote. All right, so which one should I use? So I did the verse down here, so I could call that done. I'm just not sure I want to. Let's see. I like this one, but I think it might be too wordy. This one here. A friend loves through all kinds of weather. Family sticks together in all kinds of trouble. Maybe I just go for a friend loves at all times. In a brother's book. Maybe I'll just go for the verse. Let's do that. So this is actually printed out on sticker paper. I usually print my Wordfetti and my challenge card on sticker paper. So it makes it easy to just place when I'm ready. Boy, this looks cool. I like it. Okay, I'm going to cut this. Let's see. You guys are so funny. I'm reading your comments. Brenda says, oh, well, we tried. Lisa was like, tear the edges, tear the edges. Yeah, I should have done it. That's okay. It's I can't wait to see you guys' beautiful work. I love seeing your work in the Faith Inspirations community. It's so cool. I'm also going to see a friend later this week, my chiropractor actually. He's having a hard time with his business. And I asked him, I said, can me and Lonnie take you and your wife out to dinner? And he looked at me like, he was like, no. Can you tell I don't really take no for an answer very much? He thought it was really awkward. He's like, no, you don't need to take me out to dinner. And I'm like, I want to. I can't really talk to you about your business right now because you have customers in the waiting room. So I don't want to, you to be late, because he was just talking about his business, and he wanted some thoughts. Because I've been going to him for 10 or 15 years now. A friend loves at all times. And I said, well, why don't you let me and Lonnie take you and your wife out to dinner? And at first he didn't want to. He wouldn't let me. And then I was just like, well, I can't really give you my thoughts now because you have clients and I'm busy too. So you really need to let me take you out to dinner. And I guess I must have been convincing enough, because then he said, okay, fine. Or he just relented and I hope he doesn't cancel. But we're going to take him out next week, him and his wife. And I want to just talk to him and let him share with me any, and pray with him, of course. Any things that, anything he might need some help on. Let's see. A friend loves at all times and a brother is born for adversity. So, yes, we're busy, right? He's busy. I'm busy. Lonnie's busy. Everyone's busy. But we can have a meal together, right? And in a meal, right, everyone has to eat. And then we can just talk about whatever the issue is or whatever, problems or struggles that he's having. And we could give some thoughts. I never tell people what to do. I don't know if you've noticed that, but even in Bible journaling ministries, we don't tell you what to do. We encourage you to read your Bibles. That's what we do. But I don't tell you how to interpret things. I don't tell you how to do anything. I just want you to, read your Bible and let the Holy Spirit speak into your heart, and then take the action, right? Whatever the Holy Spirit's telling you to do, that's what you should be doing. And making time for our friends is important. And even if it's so hard, right, with everyone being so busy, everyone's super busy. So what can you do to have community, not just during Sundays, right? How can we have community during the week? How can we show our friends that we love them outside of Bible studies and life groups? We can have coffee with them. We could take them out to lunch. I used to take friends out to lunch all the time when I was working. That was the only way I could squeeze them in. And I hate to say that word, squeeze them in, but it was true. It is true. So once a month, I'd take one of my girlfriends out to lunch. And we would just chat about life together. So the next one here says distress edges. I have what's called a deckled edge ruler. I do not know if it will work with watercolor paper, so let's give it a try. For those of you guys who don't know what a deckled edge paper is, ruler is, it just has it's for ripping paper. So if you have a piece of paper, it makes it really easy to just distress the edge like that. Like, look how easy that is. Okay, so that's one edge. And then here's another edge. Right, so you get a little bit of a different rip with the other edge. So this is just called a deckle edge ruler. You can get that on Amazon or hopefully at your local craft stores. Guys, please, 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 if you have a craft store that is local, please support them. I have way too many friends closing their businesses. It's sad. It's sad. Yeah, this is going to be too hard for me to do. Doesn't mean I'm not going to try. Nope, didn't really do a good job, but that's okay. Meh. It's okay. Let me see what you guys are saying. You guys are laughing. Let's see. Oh, okay. Arlene says she loves mixed media, but she's bad about not adding all the layers because she likes it early on and she doesn't want to cover anything. Oh, that's fine. Arlene, you can stop when you're done. Like if you're happy with the way your art looks and you're done, I would encourage you though to explore. Well, if you're done with your art, put it aside and then go grab another one and do another one and just explore it and see. I feel like you'll grow more in your art if you keep trying new things. So I'm just tearing this to kind of distress the edge, and then I'll come in and distress it in just a minute, probably with the coffee that we made. I'll probably just distress it with the coffee. Ooh, what was that? That was the glue. Okay, well that looks okay. I'm going to distress this edge too. Try not to cut off my Proverbs 17:17 here, but watercolor paper I find very hard to rip. It's not like cardstock, but if I do it by hand, I should be fine. Oh yeah, so Lisa's saying it's important in this busy world that we choose to be intentional and do check-ins with each other. Yes, it's so true. I feel like we sometimes, especially I know during the pandemic, we did isolate. But let's try not to. Let's try to check in with people. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That's going well. Just do your best. And sometimes, oh, this is an idea. You guys might laugh at this, but now I have an amazing relationship with my dad. But if he would have known me about 8 years ago, it was kind of like meh. My relationship with my dad was ugh. But I put it on my calendar. Actually, Tammy Belt encouraged me to do this. This was years ago. She was like, just call your dad. And I was like, I don't want to call my dad. And she was like, just call him. And so I put it on my calendar every month to call him monthly. And so I did. Every month, calendar would come up and then I would call him. I'm just going to dip this in there. I know that there's black on there, but I'm hoping that will create a darker espresso distress color. So I'm just going to do that. And we'll see how it goes. We don't learn unless we try, right? So, ooh, too dark. I'm thinking too dark. But I'm going to keep going since I already have it done. Maybe it'll lighten up since it's watercolor. But anyways, so I called him. And every month the calendar notice would come up and I'd call him again. And then one month he called me. And I was like, oh my gosh, Dad called me. And so then I took it off my calendar to call him because he had already called me. And I was like, well, done. I don't have to call him this month. Because I wanted to build a relationship, but sometimes, relationships are hard. Let's just leave it at that. And then the next month he called me again. And I was like, well, he can't be the only one calling. So then I called him again. And then he called me. And then I called him. And the next thing you know, we're calling each other. Like, weekly. And over the last, I think I have the best relationship with my dad right now that I've ever had in my life. It's amazing. So why do I tell you this? Well, because we have to be intentional, like Lisa said. We have to be intentional with our relationships. Okay, I kind of like it. It's got that nice distressed look to it. Still not done though. I want to do a little more around this edge. It's just kind of bothering me. So I'm going to do a little more shading around that edge. So if you have someone that's the Holy Spirit's prompting you that your relationship is not good, right? And you want to make that relationship better. Like Lisa said, we need to be intentional. So let's call that person or let's text that person. Let's do something to show them that we care. And maybe, hold on. Maybe nothing comes of it. Maybe you just, every month you call that person and they don't care, right? And you do it every day. And not every day, but once a month, every day, once a month, without fail. And nothing comes of it, right? You still tried. And I still think it was valuable. So, I don't know, friends. What do you think? Let's see what else you guys are saying. These are great. This is great advice. Dee says she loves her online Christian family. We love you too, Dee. We're so glad you're here. Let's see. Arlene says, if money is really tight, there are DIY videos to create a deckled edge ruler. Excellent. Wonderful. Yes, you guys, look on YouTube. There's lots of free videos on YouTube. This is called a Stabilo All pencil. It's just a black pencil that if you add water to it, you can smudge it. I'm just using it right now as an outline. I haven't decided if I'm going to add water to it or not. All right. What other things can you guys think of as ways we can love our friends or our family that we haven't already talked about? What are other suggestions you have that I can share with the world? I'm just going to put this down because I keep hitting myself with the water and I know it's going to go everywhere. So I'm just going to put this paper down so I stop getting the water all over myself. So just outline this a little bit with this pencil. And I'm just creating a little bit of shading here. What other way? Oh, you guys are just busy doing this with me, aren't you? If you have any other ways to share that we can love our friends at all time, even though we're super busy all the time, right? Oh, here's one. We could send them a card. Boy, nobody sends cards anymore. I get cards every year. I think I know Sue, you send me cards. Diana sent me card. And I so thank you, for Christmas. That was just so sweet. You guys send me cards. I'm not a good card sender. It's not something that I normally do. I'm more of a person that's like, let's go out. Because then I can get into what's going on and really understand what's going on in your life. Let's go have pizza. But yeah, if money's tight, you can have them over at your house too. You can make a casserole. We made a casserole last week. It was a chicken casserole. I went to the Costco, I bought some chicken, and I made a chicken casserole. And actually, correct that. I got the recipe for the chicken casserole, and my husband made it because he loves to do acts of service. That's his deal. So he made it. I was going to make it. He made it. It was really good. But you can make a casserole. The kids ate it up. I was surprised. They really liked it. This is just a precision glue. I'm just using it. Well, I thought I'd be using it to get underneath this because it lifted a little bit. So, oh, you love making cards, Sue? Yes, and you do such a beautiful job. Look, here's what Sue got. Where's my Sue gave me these. Look how beautiful. Aren't those beautiful? They're like diamond art. Anyways, thanks, Sue. I love them. I keep them on my desk. I use all the stuff you send me. She sent me some coasters, alcohol coasters one time. And I used those until I think I put something on them, Sue, and one of the alcohol inks came off of it. I was like, well, oh well. At least I use them, right? Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit of this glue here. All right. Let's see. Before I became homebound, I called 4 people every month to see if they needed anything. Oh, I love that, from the store. And they really loved having someone offer even if they didn't need anything. Isn't that nice? Like, even if you're like at the store, just to call a friend, like, hey, I'm at the store, what you need? Most of the time they say no. People don't like, I don't know what it is. Let me tell you something. If you're at the store and you call me and I need something, you're going to get it from me because I'm going to be like, thank you. Please go get it. Honey Crisp apples are on sale. Please get me some. I don't want to go. So don't call me from the store unless you really want to get me something. But yeah, I don't know why it is, but I would say 100% of the time, I'm just going to add a little water to this, by the way, just to kind of activate it a little bit, to kind of darken it up and kind of create more of a shadowy look to it. And that's what it's for. See? So that's just that pencil. It's called, again, Stabilo All, if you haven't heard of it. It just helps to, add a little bit of shading to things. But yeah, most people will say no. 100% of the times when I ask my friends if they need anything, they will always say no. One day maybe they'll say yes though, so I'll just keep asking. It doesn't hurt me to ask, and it takes a minute to drop somebody off food or a meal. Sometimes I don't even ask them. Sometimes I just drop it off because you can always freeze it if you don't want it. And my girlfriend the other day was like, take this home. And I'm like, no, you haven't made anything for yourself. She's like, I made an egg today. So that's progress, right? She made an egg, that's progress. And I tell her, just take one step at a time. And one day, and she is going to grief support, by the way, which I think is amazing. I think going to grief support is so important. So I'm so thankful she's doing that. And she's such a beautiful lady. I just love her. She's so kind. And it breaks my heart. But, again, we love our friends, but we still have life to do, i.e. an appointment I got to get to today. So that's why we did it early. So we are almost done. I'm just going to add some glue to the back of this and place it in my art journal. Thank you so much. Lisa says, recently I sent a friend craft she enjoys doing so she can make things and give them away as gifts. Wow, that's a great idea. Sometimes enabling friends to be friends to someone else keeps the love going. Yeah, like pay it forward. That's wonderful, Lisa. What a wonderful example. Thanks for sharing that with us. That's why I love our family meetings, because we get to be in community and you guys can share things with me and I can share things with you. And we learn from each other. And in that, I 100% know that God is glorified in that for sure. Let's see. And that's what we're here to do. Let's see what you guys are saying. Della likes to make cards and send. That's a good idea. Kelly's like, I don't like to go to the store. Sue's like, says, I need a visit from you. Sue, let me tell you something, girl. The van came back. Me and Lonnie got loaded up in the van. We got about 30 minutes down the road and the engine light came back on. I was like, no. Turns out my mechanic put the wrong part in, so they're waiting on the part. Part comes from China. I don't know when it's coming. I don't know. I think I'll leave that for something else. I'll use this in a different project. But this is what that looks like, you guys, when it's done. What we did earlier. So I hope that was a technique that was useful for you. I'm going to add this right here. But yeah, it's back in the shop, girl. I don't even know what we're going to do, but we always promise, like, we don't sell things that are not working. So the mechanic will fix it and then we might look at selling it. I'm not really sure. It's just sad because we really love van life when we do it. It's so fun. I'm so heartbroken about that. But I know that God has a purpose and a plan. So I'm going to let him run with it and just keep praying about it. There's my challenge card. Did we do all the steps? I think we did, my friends. I think we did it all. Dee says, yes, support groups help a lot. Arlene says she loves how the page turned out. Thank you so much. I love it too. All right. Lisa says the page looks great too. Oh, good. Brenda says it turns out great. Sue loved the coffee technique. Yay. Okay. So there we go, my friends. This is my page. I love it. I'm so happy. And I'm so glad that we got to spend some time together. It was so fun. Thank you so much for joining me. I love our time together. I delight in it. So I can't wait to see you next month. And I would love to see what you guys create. So please do. And share in our faith inspirations. Yeah. Faith inspirations community. I love you guys. Have a wonderful month. Okay, bye.